In the blood-soaked streets of the 90s, loyalty wasn't a choice, it was a death sentence. He was raised to be a loyal weapon, but he was born for a deadly revenge. Today, we're diving into the gritty, neon-drenched world of Michael, where every bullet tells a story of betrayal and every shadow hides a secret. The story kicks off in the heart of the criminal underworld. We meet Michael, a man who doesn't just walk into a room, he haunts it. He's the top enforcer for the ruthless gangster Gurunath. To the world, Michael is the perfect soldier, silent, lethal, and obedient. But there's a flicker in his eyes that suggests he's playing a much longer game. Gurunath treats him like a son, giving him the power to crush anyone in their path. But Michael isn't there for the money or the throne. He's a ticking time bomb, waiting for the perfect moment to strike at the very heart of the empire that built him. The tension is thick, the stakes are life and death, and the atmosphere is pure cinematic gold. This isn't just a gangster flick. It's a slow-burn masterclass in vengeance. But before we reveal how Michael plans to tear this empire down, I have a question for you. If you were in Michael's shoes, would you choose the life of power you've been given, or risk it all for a revenge that might destroy you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to see whose team power and whose team justice. Also, if you're a fan of dark, stylized action thrillers, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us bring you more deep dives into movies like this one. Now let's get back to the chaos. The tension shifts from the dark alleys of Mumbai to the unpredictable landscape of Delhi. Gurunath hands Michael his most sensitive assignment yet, a cleanup job to eliminate a rival named Rathan and his daughter Thera. For any other hitman, this would be just another day at the office, but for Michael, this mission becomes the ultimate pivot point. This is where the cold, calculated weapon begins to show cracks of humanity. When Michael finally corners Thera, the cold steel of his resolve hits an unexpected wall. He doesn't see a target. He sees a mirror of his own isolation. Instead of pulling the trigger, Michael chooses to protect her, sparking a forbidden romance that effectively signs his own death warrant. This isn't just a lapse in judgment. It's an act of war against the man who raised him. By choosing Thera, Michael isn't just defying an order, he is burning the only bridge he has ever known. Back in the inner circle, the atmosphere turns poisonous. Gurunath's biological son, Amarnath, who has always viewed Michael with a mix of envy and suspicion, seizes this betrayal to poison his father's mind. The bond of loyalty that took decades to build evaporates in a single moment of defiance. Michael is no longer the favored son. He is now the most hunted man in the syndicate. The scene culminates in a brutal ambush. Michael is lured into a trap where the very men he trained are now ordered to tear him apart. It's a visceral realization that in the world of crime, love is a luxury that costs everything. Left for dead and bleeding out, Michael's survival transitions from a mission of duty to a raw, unfiltered quest for survival. The hunter has officially become the prey, and the stage is set for a bloodbath that Delhi won't soon forget. The story takes a dark, cinematic turn as Michael rises from the ashes. He isn't just surviving, he is evolving. The man who was once a silent shadow for the syndicate returns as a ghost haunting Gurunath's every move. As Michael systematically dismantles the empire he helped build, the film peels back its most significant layer, the grand reveal. We learn that Michael's presence in Gurunath's life was never a coincidence. His entire journey from the orphan who saved Adon to the hitman who betrayed him was a meticulously crafted master plan to avenge his mother, whose life was destroyed by Gurunath decades ago. The final showdown is a brutal, rain-soaked symphony of violence. Michael faces off against Amarnath and Gurunath in a confrontation that feels less like a fight and more like an execution. With the unexpected support of a Mysterious ally, weathered, but lethal veteran played by Vijay. Psychopathy Michael turns the fortress of his enemies into a graveyard. The stylized action reaches a fever pitch as Michael finally stands face to face with the man he called father, realizing that his vengeance is finally complete, but at the cost of his own innocence. He leaves the ruins of the empire behind, proving that while you can train a man to kill, you can never train him to forget his past. Now that we've seen the depths of Michael's revenge, I want to hear from you. Do you think Michael was right to spend his entire life planning this betrayal? Or did he become exactly the kind of monster he was trying to destroy? Also, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did that final twist catch you off guard? Let me know your ratings and your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Michael, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the most intense action thrillers in cinema. Your support keeps the channel alive. The dust settles over the wreckage of Gurunath's empire, but the air remains heavy with the scent of gunpowder and rain. Michael stands amidst the silence of his fallen enemies, not as a victor, but as a man who has finally emptied his soul of a lifelong burden. The vengeance he carried since childhood is gone, leaving behind a hollow quiet that is more haunting than the violence itself. As he walks away from the burning remains of the life he knew, the film shifts its lens to the legacy left in his wake. In the final moments, we see the ripples Michael's actions have caused across the underworld. The vacuum of power left by Gurunath's demise creates a chaotic scramble among the survivors, but Michael's name has become a myth, a cautionary tale whispered by the next generation of gangsters. He didn't just kill a man. He dismantled a philosophy of fear. We see a glimpse of Michael and Thera, two souls scarred by the same fire, attempting to find a path toward a future that doesn't involve a weapon. It's a bittersweet resolution, suggesting that while the cycle of blood might have stopped for Michael, the world he left behind will never be the same. The screen fades to black with a lingering shot of a single, discarded shell casing, a reminder that every legendary story in this city begins and ends with a bullet. Let's discuss. Before you go, I have one last question for you. In a world of gray characters, who was the real villain of this story? Was it Gurunath for his cruelty? Or was it the cycle of violence that forced Michael to become a killer? And for the hardcore fans, if there's a sequel, do you want to see Michael return to the underworld? Or should he stay in the shadows forever? I love reading your theories, so get loud in the comments. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video to show your support, and hit that subscribe button with the bell icon turned on so you never miss our next movie breakdown. The fire has died down, but the air in Mumbai is far from peaceful. Michael has finally done the impossible. He has toppled the giants. With Gurunath and Charulatha dead, the old guard is gone, and the city's underworld is forced to bow to a new king. Michael stands on the balcony of the empire he once served, now the very man he used to fear. He has his revenge, and he has Thera by his side, but the crown feels heavier than he ever imagined. The cycle of blood didn't end with a bullet. It simply reset itself. In a chilling final twist, we realize that Michael's victory has awakened a sleeping giant. The camera shifts away from the city to a secluded, high-security location. We learn that Gurunath had a secret that even Michael didn't fully uncover. A twin brother, Jai. This isn't just a man. He is a force of nature who makes Gurunath look like a saint. While Michael was busy dismantling the Mumbai syndicate, Jai was watching from the shadows, waiting for the smoke to clear. The film ends with a brutal cliffhanger. Jai's men have kidnapped Swami Michael's only remaining father figure and the man who helped him orchestrate his revenge. The message is clear. The war isn't over. It has just entered a much more personal phase. Michael might have taken over the throne of Bombay, but Jai is coming to burn it all down. As Michael stares out into the dark horizon, he realizes that in this world, there are no happy endings, only new enemies. The legend of Michael has just begun, and the real storm is yet to strike. The transition is stark. We move from the burning wreckage of the old empire to a quiet, dimly lit room where Michael sits alone. He is no longer the frantic soldier or the vengeful son. He is a man transformed by the weight of his own actions. He looks at his hands, the same hands that saved Adon, loved a woman, and executed a bloodline. The realization hits that while he has destroyed his enemies, he has also destroyed the version of himself that once believed in a simple, peaceful life. The throne he sits on isn't made of gold. It's built on the silence of those he's lost. The camera pans across the room to reveal a map of the territories Michael now controls. But his eyes aren't on the map. They are fixed on a small, weathered photograph of his mother. This was the fuel for his fire, and now that the fire has consumed everything, there's only ash left. Suddenly, a phone rings, a sharp, jarring sound in the dead of night. It's a call from an untraceable number. A voice on the other end, cold and familiar, utters just one sentence. "You killed the man, Michael, but you inherited the curse." The scene ends with Michael walking out into the pouring rain, his silhouette blending into the dark skyline of the city. He isn't running away. He's stepping out to meet the next storm. The hunter is now the protector of a legacy he never wanted, realizing that in this world, there is no retirement, only the next battle. The cycle is complete, and a new, even darker chapter is about to be written in the blood of those who dare to challenge the man, now known simply as the King. The scene opens at the break of dawn. The rain has stopped, but the city is shrouded in a thick, suffocating mist. Michael stands at the edge of the harbor, the very place where he first entered the world of crime as a young boy. He is waiting. Out of the fog, several black SUVs emerge, surrounding him in a perfect circle. This is Jai's vanguard, the elite forces of the new threat. Michael doesn't reach for his gun. He simply lights a cigarette, his face a mask of calm indifference. He has lived through 1,000 deaths already. One more doesn't frighten him. Suddenly, the passenger door of the lead vehicle opens, but no one gets out. Instead, a young boy, no older than 10, is pushed out onto the cold asphalt. He looks exactly like Michael did 30 years ago, terrified, hungry, and alone. Attached to the boy's chest is a ticking device, but more importantly, in his hand is a letter sealed with Gurunath's old signet ring. Michael realizes the true cruelty of the game. Jai isn't just coming for his life. He is creating a new Michael to replace the old one. The cycle of creating monsters is starting all over again. In a split-second decision, Michael sprints toward the boy, not to kill, but to save. As he reaches the child, the SUVs speed away, leaving them alone in the middle of the docks. Michael disarms the device of fake, a psychological taunt, and looks the boy in the eyes. He sees the same fire, the same potential for darkness. Instead of handing the boy a weapon, Michael takes off his own heavy coat, wraps it around the child's shoulders, and walks him toward the city. He isn't just a gangster anymore. He is a man trying to break the wheel. The camera zooms out, showing the two figures walking into the vast, indifferent city, leaving the audience to wonder, can one man truly end a cycle of blood? Or has Michael just recruited his own eventual assassin? The camera cuts to a remote, wind-swept cliffside overlooking the vast churning ocean. The chaotic noise of the city and the echoes of gunfire have been replaced by the rhythmic, haunting sound of waves crashing against the rocks. Michael stands at the very edge, the young boy standing a few paces behind him. He isn't looking back at the empire he conquered or the graves he filled. Instead, he is staring into the horizon where the gray sky meets the dark water. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the heavy gold medallion that symbolized his rank in Gurunath's syndicate. For years, this piece of metal was his identity, his shield, and his burden. Without a word, he tosses it into the abyss. It disappears into the white foam without a splash. Michael turns to the boy and speaks for the first time in the entire scene. His voice low and gravelly. "The world will tell you that you need to be a monster to survive. They lied. You only need to be a man who knows when to walk away." As the sun begins to set, casting long, bloody shadows across the ground, a small boat appears in the distance. Michael isn't going into hiding. He's going into exile. He knows that as long as he stays in the city, the violence will follow him, drawn to him like a magnet. By leaving, he takes the target off the boy's back. He hands the child a small bag of cash and a contact number not for a hitman, but for a school in a distant province. The final shot is a wide cinematic view. The boat moves slowly away from the coast. Michael standing at the stern, a lone silhouette against the fading light. He is the guardian who chose to vanish so that the next generation could breathe. The screen slowly fades to a deep, silent black, leaving the audience with the chilling realization that Michael's true victory wasn't in winning the war, but in finally finding the strength to lay down his arms. The screen remains black for a few seconds, before a single flickering light reveals a dusty, abandoned office, Gurunath's old headquarters. The room is stripped bare, but the walls are covered in bullet holes and dried blood. We see a hand, scarred and steady, reach out to pick up a discarded, half-burnt photograph of Michael from the floor. The camera slowly pans up to reveal a figure sitting in the shadows of the high-backed leather chair. It's not Michael. It's the young boy from the docks, now 10 years older, wearing Michael's old coat. He looks into a mirror, and for a split second, his reflection shifts into Michael's face, a haunting reminder that some legacies are inescapable. He lights a cigarette exactly the way Michael used to, the flame illuminating a cold, calculated stare. He doesn't say a word, but he opens a drawer and pulls out a chrome pistol, checking the magazine. The cycle hasn't been broken. It has simply evolved. The screen cuts to black as we hear the heavy, metallic click of the gun being cocked. The legend is no longer a man. It's a ghost that will haunt the city forever, and that concludes our epic journey through the dark, unforgiving world of Michael. A story that started with a thirst for revenge and ended with the chilling realization that violence is a circle that never truly closes. If you enjoyed this scene-by-scene breakdown and want to see more deep dives into the grittiest action thrillers of the year, make sure to let us know. Now I have to ask one last time, do you think the boy will become a hero, or is he destined to be the next Michael? I'll be waiting for your theories in the comments section below. I read every single one. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed the vibe of this video, and subscribe to join our community of movie buffs. Hit the bell icon so you're the first to arrive when we drop our next script. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Until next time, stay tuned and keep watching the shadows. Peace.